Welcome to the University of the Western Cape,
or as we call it, UWs.
This is Lanal.
What's up?
He's doing a master's in linguistics.
And Sazi, a newly minted LLB grad.
In just a few minutes, we're going to show you what makes UWC really special.
From our proud history to present day achievements.
We'll take a brief look at each of our 7 faculties too,
giving you a glimpse into what makes UWC truly awesome.
But with over 200 degrees, diplomas, and courses and programs currently on offer, we'll only just skim the surface.
Okay. Less talking and more walking. Drone shot!
UWC is situated right at the tip of Africa, in one of the world's most beautiful cities, Cape Town. Known as the Mother City, Cape Town is the oldest city in South Africa.
We've also got the dopest mountain on the planet, Table Mountain, officially a new wonder of the world, right here in the vicinity of UWC.
We've got one of the most interesting histories of all the universities in South Africa too.
True story.
UWC was originally established during apartheid as a college for colored people only. The first students enrolled in 1960 were offered limited training, not based on their aptitude nor potential, but simply on the color of their skin. As a heavyweight in the struggle against apartheid, UWC was at the forefront of South Africa's historic liberation.
And it still is. If there's real change spilling out on the streets of Cape Town, you can bet UWs will be there too, bringing its unique brand of hope and a depth of knowledge that translates into real, positive action.
It's time for our first faculty. Let's go. The Faculty of Arts, my natural habitat.
This faculty has gained recognition nationally and internationally in both the arts and the humanities.
See ya!
Hi!
Look, we're on a tight schedule. Do you mind giving the good people watching a 15-second preview on what's going on in the best faculty ever?
I can try. English, Arabic, Afrikaans, Xhosa, French, German, Latin, linguistics, geography, environmental studies and tourism, women and gender studies, library and information science, theology, anthropology, philosophy, and sociology.
Girl, you should take my job.
No thanks.
UWC is not confined to one campus. Welcome to UWC Bellville, home of the sickest faculty of them all.
Actually, it aims to make sick people better, Ronald.
I give you the Faculty of Community and Health Sciences.
Here, you can study anything from occupational health to dietetics,
Physiotherapy to psychology,
natural medicine to public health,
social work and sports sciences.
Through this faculty, UWC is shaking up the health and social science sphere in South Africa through its training, research, and community-led initiatives.
(6001, 6002, 6003, 6004, 6005, 6006.
Can I stop now?
Just a few more seconds. UWC Sport recently launched an elite high performance center to give our top athletes the best facilities possible so that they can join the ranks of so many other sporting legends graduating at UWC, like these guys and girls.
If you have to not have a good activity, UWC Dentistry Faculty is Africa's leading dentistry faculty. Let's check it out.
Ronald, you're making no sense at all. Bongi, can you give him something to keep him quiet? Perfect. UWC's dental faculty offers in-depth theoretical training and real clinical exposure. And thanks to its community-based initiatives led by students, more and more South Africans have something to smile about.
Over here, you won't just get a business degree, you'll learn about the business of life. Whether your passion is economics or information systems, accounting or political sciences, UWC can equip you for either the public.
Good afternoon, everybody. I just hope I can have your attention for a couple of moments, please. We're going to get going at 1 o'clock. Last welcome ceremony for the day, but certainly not least. It's great to see everybody. Thank you so much for joining the University of the Western Cape and choosing us as being your teaching destination for the next couple of years. We really wish you well, and it's a wonderful choice, and congratulations for enrolling and for being accepting and being part of our family going forward. If you need to use the bathroom facilities, they are on your left-hand side of the hall at the respective entrances. The people in the yellow T-shirts will be able to direct you accordingly. Can we please ask that when the ceremony starts that you put your phone on silent or switch it off? We do have official videography and photography that will be shared with everybody on the conclusion of the ceremony. The procession will be entering the hall through the center aisle. Will make their way down and they'll come onto the stage. I'm going to ask you to stand once they are ready to enter the hall and remain standing for the duration of the ceremony. And then we'll sing the national anthem, and please just remain standing. The University of the Western Cape really has a lot of wonderful students' activities. I know that because I do a lot of the events at the university. We had a 39 event increase from 2024. Or 2025, actually. We did about 487 events in 2025. So all student-related and geared for your activities and for your best interests. That's what the University of the Western Cape is about. So enjoy your time here. It's a wonderful, wonderful university that will really enrich your life and open many, many doors for you going forward. So I'll be back in the next couple of moments as soon as the procession enters the hall, and then we'll stand for the national anthem. So sit back, relax, enjoy. There was a great atmosphere with the rest of the ceremonies, a lot of shouting, a lot of enthusiasm. So I hope you keep it going as well, and enjoy your time with us. I'll be back in a moment. Thank you. Can I please ask you to stand as the procession will be making its way into the hall? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you. At my age, the hearing loss is much sharper. And it is afternoon, so we thought by now you would have been refreshed after lunch and your voices are all heavy and active and energetic. So please remain standing and join us in singing the national anthem, which will be led by the UWC Creative Arts Choir. You may be seated. So good afternoon once more and welcome to UWC. My name is Nita Lawton-Misra and I'm the Registrar of the university. It's wonderful to see you all here, and just so that you know that you are one of 170,000 applicants who managed to get a place here. So give yourselves. Yes, so thank you for choosing UWC, and we are also very happy to have chosen you. So with that, I'd like to call upon the Deputy President of the Student Representative Council, Mr. Theo Molani, who is going to address you on behalf of the SRC. A big round of applause, please.
A warm welcome and greetings to Vice-Chancellor and Rector of the University of the Western Cape, Professor Robert Balfour, members of the Executive Management of the institution, DVC Student Development and Support, Prof. Matete Madiba, Acting DVC RNI, DVC Academic, Prof. Khalakhala, Mr. Regal, members of council, deans and academics, student leaders and colleagues, and last but not least, those that made it possible for each and every one of us to be here in this room, our parents at the back, and most importantly, the heartbeat of UWC, the first year class of UWC 2026. As introduced, I am the Angie Mutseha when Cyril is out of town. My name is Theo Mgwalane, the Deputy President of the Student Representative Council, and I'll be addressing you in absentia of our President, Macintosh Kasembe. Allow me to welcome you, and to welcome you to a university that was never meant to exist quietly. Welcome you to a university that was born out of exclusion, but educated itself into defiance. Welcome to the University of the Western Cape, popularly known as UWs. Like each and every one of us here in this room, we all have our history and our DNA. I, for one, born and bred alongside the banks of the Orange River in Uppington in the Northern Cape. Allow me to take you through the story of UWC. UWC was not built as a university of privilege. It was designed as a university of control by the apartheid government, designed to convince black people that they could only become clerks and not thinkers. Obedience, not even to the slightest opportunity of imagination. Silence, and not resistance. But to their surprise, history underestimated what happens when oppressed people are given even a small room to think, especially in a university like yours and mine. This campus became a site of refusal, a site of resistance, one of the first and one of the only where the lecture halls became political classrooms, residences became organizing spaces for students, students became thinkers, and thinkers became revolutionaries. It was in this very institution where ideas were sharpened, where the oppressed learned to speak back, where the intellectual backbone of the democratic South Africa of what it is today was forged. That is the DNA of UWC. Now allow me, when you say that I am a UWC student, you're not just describing your place of study. You are making a claim that education must serve society, a claim that knowledge must confront injustice, a claim that excellence is not elitist, it is liberating yourself from the clutches of our very fragmented society. UWC does not produce spectators of history, it produces participants and innovators of this country. If there's one thing I want you to understand and for you to take today, is this. As different and diverse as each and every one of us are here today, shaped by different backgrounds, don't you ever forget your reason as to why you are here. We have our parents, took out thousands of loans to pay registration fees, traveling fees, and even costs for you to survive through this month as you wait on allowances. Don't you dare let them down. If anything, don't you ever allow yourself to be a product of your circumstance, but allow yourself to be a product of your decisions. We do not merely study to pass, but we study because South Africa and Africa in its entirety needs leaders who think ethically, lawyers who understand justice beyond the textbook, scientists, doctors, and teachers who knows who their work must serve, economists and businessmen who understand inequality as a lived reality and not merely make it to stats SA. Before I continue, allow me to pause here. Leadership in UWC is not abstract. It is organized, accountable, and present. Present in this room, the blue suits with the gold. Allow me to introduce to you the Student Representative Council 2025-2026. A collective that does not merely exist to serve you, but most importantly, to defend the values of this institution. On my left, the Secretary General, Ms. Khanyisa Dos. Deputy Secretary General, and he actually asked that I actually share this with the room, that he's also a product of the Global Faculty, popularly known as the Faculty of Law, Deputy Secretary General Thabiso Dube. Postgraduate and student liaison officer, the daughter of the soil, Andy Swaboya. The public relations officer of the SRC, Ms. Oratilwe Maserumule. Sports officer of the SRC, Luivezo Joao Antonio. Academic Affairs Officer of the SRC, who has not only allowed yourself but others open the doors to success and the opportunity to access to higher education, Nkwenkwezi Orion and Dabambi. Apparently the people of the SRC, Treasurer General Akanya May. Minister of Joy and Entertainment, Projects and Campaigns Officer, Ms. Ayabona Nyalela Ngokazi. Policy and Transformation Officer, Ms. Inati Gogela. International Student Liaison Officer, Delight Farai Mabeza. Gender and Safety Officer of the SRC, Mr. Zachary Heinemann. Students Governance and Services Officer, Ms. Twenga Likau. Now let me return back to the work and actually make you understand what it is to be a student leader at this institution. Being a student leader at UWC has never meant popularity. It has always meant principle at a time where even the university may forget even its own purpose of existence. Our leadership is not merely about titles. It is about standing firm when systems fail students. It is about speaking the truth when silence is more convenient, about choosing collective progress over personal comfort. And that is why UWC leaders have always been uncomfortable people in comfortable rooms. Back to you. Your purpose as a UWC student is to think critically, even when it is inconvenient. We do not merely inherit freedom by memorizing notes, we sustain it by questioning power. So as you enter these doors, do not be afraid to ask difficult questions. Do not be afraid to interrogate what you are taught. Do not be afraid to read beyond the curriculum. Do not be afraid to understand history, because history explains the present. Critical thinking is not disrespect. It is the first responsibility you bear as the student of the University of the Intellectual Left. Many of us are here today against the odds. Some of us come from households where this degree represents generations of sacrifice. Some of you carry financial stress silently, and some of us may feel overwhelmed before you feel confident. But don't you dare not attempt to reach out. Always remember, you are not alone. It takes a village. UWC has always been a home for students who arrive unsure and leave them transformed. Back again to your purpose. We're studying to break generational curses. Studying for our family, studying for our underprivileged communities, studying for the students and your marginalized brothers and sisters who will come after you. You study for a continent and a country still waiting on ethical leadership. Africa does not lack talent. It lacks discipline, conscious excellence. But don't you be. I'm becoming a bit emotional. Be that generation. We are filled, or rather granted, so many opportunities. And it is so sad, as mentioned by Registrar over here, that over 100,000 applicants, you are seated here today. Don't you ever take that for granted. There are those of us, our sisters and brothers back home in communities. Some may have not have the same privileges that we have today. Subjected to teenage pregnancy, crime, and all other inhumane circumstances. But you've made it. Now take this, first years, particularly our freshers. You're not just entering a university, you're entering a tradition of struggle, of thought, and of courage. Carry the DNA of UWC with pride, study hard, think deeply, lead ethically. And when history calls, as it always does since it doesn't have any blank pages, may it find you ready. Allow me, on behalf of my collective, to welcome you to the University of the Western Cape, the University of the Intellectual Left, the University of the poor and working class that punches above its weight. Welcome to the work that awaits you and will ask a lot from you. Have fun and experience the university to the fullest so that when you leave these doors better than how they found you. A warm congratulations and thank you for choosing UWC. Always remember, you are our pride and our dignity. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ngwalani, for those inspiring words. And I think an important message there, do not take what you have received in the form of this offer to study here for granted. Because out of that 170,000, we only took in 4,700. And that's you. So think of the other thousands that didn't get in. And don't take this for granted. Work hard and make your parents proud. So with that, I would like to now call upon our next speaker. Every university has a council, which is its highest governance structure. It provides governance oversight, ensuring that the university is always run with integrity and as ethically as possible. The chairperson of the UWC Council is Ms. Koliswa Mpungoshe, and she is with us today to address you. Please welcome Ms. Mpungoshe to the podium.
Thank you, Registrar. Good morning. Molweni, Dumelang, Sanbonani, Absheng, Goeiemorgen. Vice-Chancellor and Rector, Professor Balfour, Registrar, members of the Executive Committee, deans of the respective faculties, members, leadership of our student body. Good morning. I would like to extend a special greeting to the parents who are here today accompanying their children. This is such an important part of the journey of your children's lives, and they will never forget how you brought them to this point, and your presence here will mean a lot to them, going forward. And I know the parents who are not here today, it is not out of not wanting to be here or disinterest, in your journey. It is circumstance. I am absolutely sure of that. So we would like to acknowledge them as well, and hopefully the message that you are getting here today, you will then relay to your parents who are not here and share their experience with them. I would like to start by just pointing out that you have been on a journey since birth, and then you started school. And what has brought you to this point is a level of discipline and sheer determination to make it through matric, because that journey is very difficult. It is made all the more difficult for some of you by the circumstances, under which you have grown up, particularly financial constraints that many parents face. But despite those circumstances, you are here today. And so there is something about you that has made it possible for you to break through and be here. Now, you are starting a part of your journey as a human being, where you are now transitioning from being a child, a teenager, to being an adult. Last year, this time, you were in high school, and your parents were the ones who made sure that you woke up every morning, you had something to eat every morning before you went to school, you had done your homework the night before and you were ready. They took you to school sometimes, or they provided the means to get you to school. Your teachers, when you got to school, were the ones who were supervising what you did in class and outside of the classroom. It changes from here on. Most of you have traveled long distances because you are coming from outside of Cape Town. So you've traveled long distances, and you are finding yourselves having to make certain decisions on your own. And so that is going to be the nature of your life going forward. So starting with waking up in the morning, every day when we wake up in the morning and we open our eyes, we make choices. The first choice is whether to get out of bed at all. That's your first choice. And you know, university, the way it is, it's easy. I was a student here. It's easy to say, I'm going to skip class today, or I'm not going to do this assignment and I'll have a story for the lecturer. You know, those types of things. But it does catch up with you later on. It really does catch up with you. So just make sure that when you wake up and you make those choices, you make the right choice every day. Make the right choices every day, starting with, am I going to wake up? And then, when you go to class, am I going to be present, fully present? Am I going to participate in the lectures? Am I going to do the work that has been assigned to me for that particular day or particular week? And all of that is now your responsibility. Your lecturer is not going to be chasing after you, asking, have you done your homework? Why didn't you do your homework? That's on you. That's university. So what that means is that you are transforming from being a child who is supervised to being an adult who makes their own decisions. And in making your own decisions, it's always important that you assert your own identity. So nothing is going to be about friends from here on, especially when it comes to your academics. Everything is going to be about what you know to be right and what you know to be right for you especially. And so you will be responsible for those decisions. Now, what that means is that if you're going to assert your own identity, what it means is that you must then have courage. The courage to say no to things that are not going to advance your project. Because each one of you has your project, your academic project, and you know what you want to achieve. And so that's your project. So make sure that you guard with everything that you have, anything that's going to disturb that project for you. So that's the first thing: courage, identity, and choices. And then the other thing that's important, which the Deputy SRC President touched on, is understanding your purpose, understanding why you are here. That is critical to the person that you are going to turn out to be at the end of this process that you are undertaking today. Understanding why you are here has to do not only with your aspirations, so it is your own aspirations, very important. I know most of you want, to be able to do certain things for yourselves, for your families, etc. And sometimes we measure people's success by material things, the things that they own and they have. But I want to tell you now today that a UWC product, if you've absorbed the principles and values of this university by the time you leave here, your focus shifts from financial gain to what can I contribute to greater society. So that is the DNA of a UWC student. But you never forget your home. As they say, charity begins at home. Most of us here do not come from plenty. We come from nothing. My father, when I left home to start university, he said to me, "Xoliswa, your mother and I, we don't have money to leave for you were we to pass away. We will not leave an inheritance for you in the form of money and assets. What we can do for you is to make sure that we provide the environment for you to thrive and to educate you. Make sure that you go through varsity because that gives you a chance. That gives you a chance in this world." And so I'm one of those who were given a chance because of the education that I was able to acquire from this university. So your project is not just your project. I'm sure all of you can attest to the fact that when you left home, there were people, your family, members of the community, who were supporting you in this process and who have certain expectations of you when you finish your studies. Yes, they want to see you prosper and succeed, but they also want to see you make a positive contribution to those communities that you come from. They want to see you make a positive contribution to society in general. They want to see you make a positive contribution to our continent because our continent needs you. And the difference between past generations and your generation is that, as the Deputy President stated earlier, we have the resources. It's not like we don't have the skills and the people who have the brains, to make a change, to effect change in Africa, but we lack the discipline and the excellence that is required. So you perhaps are that generation, like the SRC president said. Perhaps you are that generation that has that responsibility of making sure that Africa, changes for the better and for all who live in it. And just segueing into this conversation about the communal nature of your rite of passage, because indeed, this is a critical rite of passage for you because it's so transformative in nature. So as you embark on that journey, keep in mind the sacrifices that your parents have made for you and on your behalf. And keep in mind, like the registrar said, there are many, many, many other thousands of children who were not able to get in. And not because they're not smart, they're just as smart, but the spaces are limited. So there's an additional responsibility on you not to take this opportunity for granted and to do what your parents have sent you out here to do and achieve your own personal goals. So that sheer determination that brought you here and took you through matric, that same determination, draw from that and continue. Stay the course. And I'm sure you will do well. Now, on a more practical level, as council, one of the things that are top of mind, or at least two of the things that are top of mind to us, have to do with the crime, that we see around us. So just because we are a university, we are not immune to what happens in broader society. So the crime that you see around us, also affects the university. And so my ask, is that each and every one of us just make sure that you keep safe. So as you go around your business at the university, whether it is your academics or your social life, just make sure that you are responsible for your own safety. But also, as members of the same community, let's look out for each other. It's absolutely important. We have to make sure that we are looking out for each other or one another. So that's the one thing. And an example that I used earlier on is that, if you're going to go out, make sure that someone knows that you are going out and you'll be back at a particular time. You guys, all of you have cell phones. You can communicate with your peers, just so that at least there is a sense of where, your friends are. And then also please do reach out. Because the other issue is around the health and wellness of students. We see a lot of anxiety and depression amongst students during their life at the university, but there are resources that are available that you must please access should you feel that you need help. Please access those resources because they are there for you and you are entitled to them. Do not be afraid to use those resources. It's very, very important that you do so. Now, I just want to take you back to talking about anxiety. When I started here, I was very, very anxious. I was very excited, but at the same time, very anxious about, where this journey would take me. But I quickly made friends, and I was very shy, by the way, Rector. I still am. But you learn with the support of others to come into your own, and I did. I involved myself in student activities. In fact, I'm very proud to say this choir that you saw here, my friends and I started that choir. So that's, yes, that right there is my legacy. So we all have a chance to leave a legacy, however small. And so use the opportunities that you get, use the who you are, because we all have something to bring to the table. Bring that to the table and make your stay at this university worth your while. And important also, academics, very important, but there's a balance. Make sure that you balance things so that you are happy and you are a rounded individual. And then the last point I wanted to make about being a UWC student and talking about the DNA of this university is that, I studied law at this university. And we were taught through the years, from first year all the way, we were taught that law does not apply in a vacuum. There's always a context. And the South African context is known to all of us, including the inequality that we see, the hopelessness that we see. All of those things matter. They matter even when you have left university. So how do I apply my skills that I acquired from this university on a day-to-day basis? I work in an environment where I make decisions on a daily basis. that have an impact on the lives of South Africans every day. And every day, even as I apply my legal expertise, I have to think about the social issues that impact our society. And that skill of merging the two was acquired at this university. You know, this university, if there's one thing about UWC that we stand for unequivocally and unapologetically, what's the word? We don't apologize for this. You know, some words are tongue twisters, but I can spell it though. So we don't apologize. We stand for justice at this university. That's who we are. If you remember nothing else, remember that as a UWC student, and at the end of your journey, when you start serving society, you stand for justice as a UWC product. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Mpungoshe. I think you were speaking to the right audience because at least 50% of the students sitting here are going to be studying law. Where are all the lawyers in the making? So thank you, Ms. Mpungoshe, for those wise words. I hope you paid attention and carry that forward throughout your journey. So earlier on, we had the SRC Deputy President who introduced us to his team, and I thought we should do the same with you. Okay? So before I introduce the management team that's sitting on stage, I want you to turn to the person to your right and introduce yourself to the person to your right. Thank you. You can carry the conversations over outside. And thank you to the parents for doing the same. Now I'd like you to turn to the person to your left and introduce yourself. Thank you. So I see there are many people, especially in this front row, who are not doing any of that. Chances are they've come here in groups and so they know one another. Right, so because of that, turn to the person behind you and introduce yourself. Thank you. So to all of those students who walked onto this campus this morning alone, you didn't know anybody, you didn't have any friends, you didn't have a support system. Some of you came here in groups and that's fine. But those who walked in alone, at least now you know 3 other people. And I hope that those conversations that you wanted to continue will continue after this session, and that it is the beginning of a lifelong friendship that only happens at universities. So take the opportunity while you are at university to make as many friends as possible and to increase your networks as far as possible. Because trust me, as you graduate and leave and enter the workplace, those networks become very important. So don't see this as a wasted exercise, okay? So now that you all know one another, let me introduce you to the people on stage. So you've already met the SRC. You've met me. I told you I'm the registrar of the university. The rector and vice-chancellor of the university is a gentleman sitting on that wonderful red chair, Professor... And that is Professor Robert Balfour. Okay? He is the head of the university. He has 3 deputy vice-chancellors, and they are seated alongside, and we've got Professor Matete Madiba, who is the deputy vice-chancellor for... So she is the deputy vice-chancellor for student development and support. Okay? Next to her is acting deputy vice-chancellor for research, Professor Priscilla Baker. Next to Prof. Baker, we have Professor Monwabisi Khalakhala, and he is the deputy vice-chancellor academic. Next to Prof. Khalakhala, at the end of this, I'm going to test you. Hey, you need to tell me all their names. Next to Prof. Khalakhala is Mr. Mani Regal, who is the Executive Director of Finance and Services. Next to Mr. Regal is Mr. Meko Magida, who is the Executive Director for Human Resources. So together, from the rector down to me, we make up the executive management of the university. I will now introduce you to the deans, and students from CHS and law, keep an ear out for your dean as I call out their names, okay? So you've met the chairperson of council. The first dean that we have next to Ms. Mpongoshe is Professor Fiona Muller. Prof. Muller is the Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Humanities. We next have Professor Anita Padmanabhani, who is the Dean of the Faculty of Community and Health Sciences. This is the 3rd session we've had today, and thus far that has been the loudest applause we've had. Next to Prof. Anita is the Deputy Dean for the Faculty of Dentistry, Professor Ronelle Mott. Next to Professor Mott is the Deputy Dean for the Faculty of EMS, that's the Economic and Management Sciences. And her name is Professor Caroline van den Berg. Professor of Law, next. We all know that lawyers charge by time, right? So you made that as long as possible. Professor Jacques Deville is the Dean of the Faculty of Law. And next to Professor Deville is the Deputy Dean from the Faculty of Education, Professor Rowan Marmon. Who's going to stand and name all of the people on stage? Okay, we'll let you off now. You've got a lifetime of assessments coming up, so I'll let you off for now. With that, I'd like you to put your hands together to warmly welcome the Rector and Vice-Chancellor, Professor Balfour, to address you.
Thank you very much for the generous welcome. To our Chair of Council, Ms. Mpungoshe, thank you for gracing us today with your presence. Our Chair of Council has been with us the whole day today. Yeah. And then also to our Deputy President of the SRC, thank you so much for the very inspiring address, Theo. We really appreciated it. To all our SRC leadership, the team that's gathered, as well as the senior and the executive management, our academic and professional support staff, and of course the parents, families, loved ones, all those who came to support you as the class of 2026. Thank you so much for being with us today and for supporting our students as they begin this important journey in life. We are so thrilled to welcome you to UWC this year. It's a new day, a new dawn. Remember that song? Yeah. And becoming part of the university as a community needs you to step up in kind of special ways that might have been unnecessary before if you came from homes where a parent or loved one was keeping your schedule of the day or a teacher was keeping your schedule of classes. This is not that kind of environment. It needs as much self-discipline as it does academic application. And we are really delighted, I have to say, that you're joining a university that is so well known nationally and internationally as a leading academic space, a leading place for research and teaching. We have among us some of South Africa's and the world's best known scientists. My colleague, Professor Baker, won the L'Oreal Prize for Women in Science internationally in 2025. And in talking to you about the importance of self-discipline and looking after yourselves, I want to underscore also what Ms. Mpungoshe mentioned in relation to looking after each other. As part of what it means to be a university community, we commit to caring for each other so that when you are unwell, when you are going out to have a night on the town, when you're studying very, very late and you're taking those extra vitamins and you're under a lot of stress, please also communicate with your friends, let them know where you're at, let them know what's going on, communicate with our counselors, our psychologists, our medical teams on campus, let them know what you need, let them know what's going on. Help-seeking behaviors are an important part of success in life. I learned this at an interview myself where one of the interviewees for the job I was interviewing for said, "It's so important in this job that you understand how to seek help when you need it." And that's so true as well for our students. When you need help with the academic program, when you need help and support from each other, show up for each other and reach out and contact the academics and our services to seek that help. I'm inspired by a champion of inclusion, Helen Keller, who was, shortly after she was born, became blind and deaf, and who went on to becoming a wonderful author, world-renowned activist and writer about issues concerning disabilities and inclusion. And what is inspiring about that story is that all of us who come to a particular space come from a special journey in our lives. Some of us in this audience will also have experienced disabilities as a form of that journey in life. And I would encourage you in reaching out to make UWC a welcoming place, that you show support for people who need it, who we recognize as needing that support in our society to be their best selves alongside you as your best self. Help protect each other. Help each other with your work. Reach out and find help when you need it. As an institution which was established in the very dark period of the apartheid past, this place was established on soil that was considered to be arid, where very little could grow. And so the wonderful trees that I've seen many of you standing under the shade of today, and as I've met your parents a little bit earlier today, standing in the shade of these trees, were planted here by former academics and students like yourselves, people who grew up here and who made a contribution to the university to say, this is the place where we will send our children, this is a place where we will thrive and prosper as a learning community. And UWC is that kind of space for you, and today you begin your journey as that kind of person, somebody who will grow into a strong, tall tree, giving shade and nourishment to those around you, who will be an inspiration to people around you. Much like the baobab tree, which begins its life in the most arid of context, almost a desert, and yet grows to be this enormously strong and powerful tree, so too are we at UWC, those trees. So in as much as we say, welcome to the university, welcome to this next stage of the journey, we anticipate it won't be an easy journey. Academic life and the studies, the life of the mind, are difficult. And that is part of the journey of growing up as well, growing into adulthood, is recognizing the challenges you have, working extra hard to overcome the challenges and succeeding for yourselves, for the university, for your communities, for our families, our friends, and all who love us, and all who we wish to seek, improved by what we are doing here. You may not always notice that growth from day to day. A friend of mine said, you know, if you keep on pulling out a carrot from the soil to check how far the roots are going, the carrot will never grow. So the journey takes time, but the important thing is it takes investment in yourselves, persistence, constancy, showing up and being dedicated to that academic life you have chosen to be part of today. We wish you well. We want you to thrive and succeed here, and we look forward to supporting you in your journey ahead. Thank you, everybody.
We are almost at the end of the program, this part of the program. But before we leave, there are a few bits of information that I'd like to share with you. One is, make sure you have a student card. If you don't have an access card, it means you are not yet registered. So to make sure you are registered, the card is a good indicator. So if you haven't yet registered, make sure you do that today at your faculty, okay? Secondly, make sure that you constantly check your UWC email account. Any formal communication from the university to you will be via the UWC email account. So always check your account. Do not say, oh, I didn't know. If the information is sitting there and you haven't read it, you will have to take responsibility for that. An important word that was used constantly today was agency. How do you make sure you take responsibility for your own actions? You make sure you do what you need to do to succeed, to be safe, to reach out for help, etc. So make sure you're always checking your email account as well. UWC social media platforms also, you can check what's going on with the university there. Be aware and be cautious of fraudsters, of fake news. Don't take everything that you read there as the gospel truth. Always check with university officials if you are not sure. And then lastly, I just want to say that today is a very special day in your lives because it's the first time that you shared this space with your loved ones who are sitting at the back. The next time you do this will be when you graduate and walk across the stage. Okay? So keep that in mind, envision that, make sure it happens, because the next time you want to be here with your loved ones is when you qualify, you've earned that degree, and you walk across the stage with that degree in hand, and then you come back for postgrad studies. Okay, you don't go off and work. Yes. So with that, the procession is going to leave the stage in a moment. You will then remain in the hall. Colleagues will come and give you further instructions as to what's happening. But the one very important notice or information that you need to know is, for the rest of this week, there is a formal orientation program for you. It's been designed especially for you. Please attend that, because that will teach you how to navigate this university, which can be very overwhelming when you come from a school. So attend that orientation program so that next week when you arrive here on Monday morning, you know immediately where to go for your first lecture and you won't feel lost. Okay? Reach out to one another, help one another. If you see someone alone, make friends. That's what it is all about. And remember, always ask for help. You are not alone. There are all kinds of support systems at the university to help you. If you need help, reach out and ask for help. With that, thank you again for being here. Welcome to UWC, and please stand up as the procession leaves the stage. Thank you.
You may be seated. Thank you so much. Did you enjoy the ceremony? Are you looking forward to your time at UWC? We're looking so forward to hosting you and to having you with us for the next couple of years or however long it takes for you to do your studies. So congratulations once again. I'm going to be introducing you to Ms. Nasrana Parker, who is the manager of the Career Services Office, who is the office that's actually responsible for the whole orientation week, and she's got a couple of announcements and even a song and a dance to share with you as well. So the rhythm, the vibe, the party starts right here. So all the very, very best to you, and I hope to see you all again walk across the stage and go out into the world as alumni and make yourselves, your family, and of course the University of the Western Cape extremely proud. You can give yourselves a big round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum, Dumelang, Sani Bunani, Abshini. Welcome to UWC. How's the day been so far? Hot, long. Okay. I don't want to forget to make an important announcement, so that's why I'm doing this first. We've got our student assistant usher here. For parents, once the session ends in 20 minutes, the ushers will be at the foyer to take you to the parent orientation and the parent campus tour. So just look out for them in the foyer of the Jagsherwe Hall in about 20 minutes. Okay, thank you, dear. Okay, so now the fun starts. First and foremost, like the registrar and my colleagues have mentioned, thank you for choosing UWC as your campus of choice for the next 3 to 4 years. It is going to be a time where you discover who you are, what you are capable of, and you are going to hopefully leave the university with much more than just a qualification. But before we get started again with orientation information, let's just see who makes up our first year students. Can all of our female first year students stand? Just to see. There we go. Yes, exactly. Thank you, ladies. So a greater percentage of the student community are women. And this is a demographic that has been changing rapidly in the last few years. So just that you know, you're not alone. Can we have all of our students from countries across Africa stand? So that's from everyone that's in our neighboring countries and across the African continent. Who's here from Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Egypt, Libya, Congo, wherever? Any students from across the African continent? Welcome, welcome. I'm sure there are students in our overflow GH1 and 2 as well. We're not forgetting about you. Do we have students from the rest of the world? Anyone from countries beyond Africa? Any international student? Not today? Yes, one student over there. Welcome. Thank you. So we need to find out what made him choose UWC. Okay. Do we have any, who of you have brothers or sisters studying at UWC? Anyone has brothers or sisters, siblings studying at UWC? Okay. Lovely. So, they've told you the best study spots, the best food spots, the best sleeping spots, the best photocopy spots, everything, right? I'm sure they would have updated you. Do we have any parents who've graduated from UWC or currently UWC students? Parents, welcome back. Chance, do we have any twins or triplets here today? We had some in the previous sessions. There we go. There we go. Are you studying the same thing? Okay, good. Just checking. Okay, thank you. Welcome. Any Orlando Pirates supporters? Any Kaiser Chiefs supporters? Okay. So we are all here with a common purpose, right? As different as we are, as unique as our stories are, we are here with a common purpose. We are here to begin our journey at the University of the Western Cape. And orientation is the foundation of that journey. Orientation is about getting started with the least amount of anxiety. It's about settling in, and it's about being prepared for the new chapter of tertiary studies, which is very different to high school. With us to help us in your orientation, we have a group of senior students who have sacrificed 2 weeks of their vacation to ensure that you have built a foundation for your orientation and of your academic studies. So please give a round of applause to our orientation guides who will be assisting you this week for orientation. Welcome, Oju. Over to you.
might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Yazi, labantwana bangiphethe, labantwana bangiphethe, labantwana bangiphethe, yazi, labantwana bangiphethe, yazi, futhi nami ngiziphethe, futhi nami ngiziphethe, labantwana bangiphethe, labantwana bangiphethe, masingena thina bathi on the floor, wonke umuntu on the floor, on the floor, wonke umuntu on the floor, bathi jayiva napho. I stay hard now, bro. I sing in a party on the floor, on the floor, on the floor.
Friday, yeah, get 25. For going to Holy, some guys put in mud. Ungenza, nungezi, neplan, chala swing scale, and singers for in mud. Friday, yeah, get 25. For going to Holy, some guys put in mud. Ungenza, nungezi, neplan, chala swing scale, and singers for in mud. Chala ngaba step. I wanna man, chala ngaba step.
Please stay here for a moment.